In news from Jamaica, the People's National Party PNP is still coming to terms with its 2016 general election loss. However, the party remains resolute that it will make the necessary changes and rebound to reclaim state power. Karen Lowe has the details.
It's obvious that we missed the mark on that in not fully appreciating the extent to which a non-participation would have affected us. Without a doubt, we missed the mark on that.
The People's National Party, PNP, has found itself at a crossroads. A shock defeat to the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, has forced comrades back to the drawing board. The Julian Robinson-led post-election review committee bluntly stated that the party lost the general election polls because it refused to participate in the national political debates. According to Mr. Robinson, the party's decision was viewed by the electorate as arrogant, and that dealt the party a fatal blow.
There was certainly a perception that we were, if you look at the issue of not participating in the debate, a perception developed that of arrogance, that we didn't need to speak to persons. And the reality is, you could say that the electorate spoke in a way in relation to that particular issue. And it may be a hard way to learn that lesson, but I think it is a lesson that internally we have to ensure that we keep ourselves as leaders of the party and members of the party honest and level and grounded, and ultimately responsive to the electorate that we serve. And the reality, based on our findings, is that a lot of people felt we strayed away from that.
The findings of the post-election review committee conceded that the party didn't communicate hope to the Jamaican populace, and there was never an effective counter to the JLP's 1.5 proposal. In essence, the PNP believes it lost the reins of the government because the party failed to articulate its policies. The 13-member appraisal committee focused on three main areas as it sought to find answers to explain the 2016 general election loss, in which the JLP took 32 seats to the PNP's 31. The PNP had previously held 42 seats to the JLP's 21. The areas of focus were divided into three segments: the party, the government, and the campaign. Mr. Robinson also noted that other factors led to the party's loss. He noted that there was internal wrangling and unresolved candidate selections. The PNP confesses that the decision to replace certain members of Parliament, for example Damien Crawford from East Rural St. Andrew and Raymond Price from North East St. Elizabeth, were factors that contributed to the party's demise. Then there was a move by some comrades to oust the Member of Parliament for South East St. Anne, Lisa Hanna, which also had an impact. Robinson says the challenges in the South East St. Anne constituency are still being ironed out.
That issue is still being handled by the leadership of the party, and it is an ongoing matter that the party is trying to resolve, so I don't want to get into a detailed discussion about that at this point in time, but it is a matter which the party continues to be actively involved in seeking a resolution to.
The PNP post-election review committee met with a wide cross-section of stakeholders in determining the findings of the report. Interviews were held by members of the Officers' Corps, the National Campaign Committee, and campaign managers. The committee also hosted 3 focus groups with young voters, journalists, pollsters, and leaders of civil society. The party president, Portia Simpson Miller, was also interviewed.
She was the chair of the National Campaign Committee, and obviously as the party leader playing a major role. So yes, she was interviewed and gave her remarks in relation to the work of the committee.
So what's next for the party? Mr. Robinson is urging party officials and members to implement the post-election review committee findings in order for the party to restore its credibility to the electorate. Among the recommendations put forward, the need to strengthen the Secretariat in areas of organizing, enumeration, communication, and recruitment, and the need for the party to reaffirm its core philosophy and communicate policies within that framework.
Ultimately, there is a digestion of this report that needs to happen within the party so that the structures of the party are aware of the recommendations that have been made. It's explained to them, and their comments and so on are put forward. Right. And then the organs of the party and the different will make decisions.
University lecturer Dr. Peter Gordon, who also served on the PNP's appraisal committee, cautioned the PNP to change the methods used to communicate its messages.
I'm very hopeful that the PNP will not draw the wrong lessons from the defeat. The issue was raised earlier about communicating within the philosophy. The party's philosophy hasn't changed, but its methods may have to change over time. And I think part of the political education is to say to people that our philosophy, or the philosophy of the party, remains the same, but the methods of achieving those things will have to change as the circumstances change.
I'm Carrie-Ann Lowe for CEEN Caribbean News.
Thanks, Kerry. And in light of the PNP's election loss, there have been calls for party president Portia Simpson-Miller to step aside. The 2016 election defeat is Mrs. Simpson-Miller's second election loss since being at the helm of the PNP. She also lost the 2007 general election to then Prime Minister Bruce Golding. According to Mr. Robinson, some senior members have been asking for Mrs. Simpson-Miller to give a timeline for her departure. Meanwhile, Mr. Robinson was also quizzed about his own opinion on the matter.
The party leader has not done so. Again, within the party, people have different views. People have the right to express those views. Some views are one particular way, other views are another way, and that's the nature of the democracy within the party. Again, from our perspective as a committee, while people may have individual views, as a committee, that's not an area that we was within our mandate to examine. The party, as this report goes through the structures of the party, the members of the party will have views on that, and it is evolving and is dynamic, and we have to see how it plays out.
What is your view?
Me? No, I'm not expressing my personal view here.